I am sure you must have heard about motivation 1,000,001 times. But the truth of the matter is that without it, it's impossible to have drive. And without drive, it's impossible to achieve anything significant in life. My name is Boluwatife David, and I am your high performance coach. Now, motivation in itself is one of the ingredients of having the drive that you require to pursue your goal and achieve anything significant. What is motivation? I'm sure you have different definitions. Some people call it your why. A lot of people link motivation with money. A lot of people have given motivation a lot of explanation before now. But I want to introduce you to what I call the two trunks of motivation. And I call it the away from motivation and towards motivation. For you to be able to maintain a constant level of motivation across life and at every phase of life, you must have a fair balance between your away from motivation and towards motivation. Now, what is away from motivation and what is towards motivation? Away from motivation is that thing that you're trying to run away from, that gory place that you're trying to get away from. If you have been chased by a dog before, you would understand what I mean by away from motivation. If you've tried escaping danger before, you would know what I mean by away from motivation. I once heard a story of a particular woman that was trying to escape the armed robbers that came to her house, and she jumped from a second story of her house into a nearby compound. Now, after the robbers are gone, she discovered that the compound she has jumped into is locked from outside, and she started banging the door. Now, people around said to her, "How did you get inside?" And she mentioned how she jumped. And they asked her to, "Since you jumped inside, then jump back outside." But alas, she couldn't. Why? Because at the point when she jumped in, she was trying to escape a particular pain. She was trying to escape a particular danger. Now, if you have a picture of a particular thing you're trying to escape, I can guarantee you that you would continue running. Now, the challenge with away from motivation, however, is that the moment you notice that you are far away from it enough, you stop running. The same thing goes for this woman. The moment she has escaped the danger, she stopped running. The moment a dog stops chasing you, you stop running, right? That is the way the away from motivation works. And that is why it is important that you have the second kind of motivation, which is towards motivation. Towards motivation is that future that you're trying to run to. Remember, in the first part of this video, I spoke about desire. Remember? Now, if you have not seen that video, you should go to my Instagram or my YouTube channel to watch that. Now, speaking of desire, your desired future, the picture that you have been able to create by the steps I explained in that video, becomes your towards motivation that is so clear in your mind that you don't have a choice but to keep pursuing it. Now, this is where this thing gets balanced. When we are where we are and we look at the future that we desire, most of the time we feel like that future is too far and we just give up, right? So that is where away from comes in. Away from motivation will get you started. Now, the moment it pushes you to the middle of the way, then you can then realize that, oh, the future I'm trying to create is not too far from me again, and then you complete the journey. With your away from motivation, you get started. With your towards motivation, you complete your journey. Have you taken time to identify your towards motivation and your away from motivation? Now, let me say it quickly this way, because this is a question people get to ask me when I talk about this concept. It doesn't have to be your reality. I mean the way from motivation. Just think about a possible thing that can happen to you. Take for instance, I have never had my kids out of school before, but I know that it is a possibility if I fail to generate the resources that my family needs. Now, I have never been evicted from a house before, but I know that it is a reality that can happen if I fail to generate the resources required for my family. So those things are actually my own picture of a pain I'm trying to run away from. I don't want to be that father that cannot provide for the family. So with that at the back of my mind, I keep driving, I keep driving, I keep driving, I keep driving. Now, let me make this thing a little bit more practical for you. Just in case you know the story, of Jesus, right? You hear him say that at a point when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he said, God, let this cup pass over me. But he remembered that, oh, if I should go through the cross, I am going to have a name that is above every other name. And because of that picture of the future that he desired to have, he endured the cross. Now, with that towards motivation, it was easy for him to go through a pain. Now, let me say it this way. The more the intensity of the emotion of a thing, the higher the chances of you going through it. So, if the picture or the intensity of a pain that you are going to go through in achieving a thing is higher than the intensity of the emotion you are going to feel when you get it done, tendencies are you won't do it. So your towards motivation must be so intense, must be so positive that it wakes you up in the middle of the night and it gets you, moving. So that is the way to ensure that you sustain your drive regardless of what you're going through. Set your away from motivation, set your towards motivation. Keep these two regularly in your focus, and you will notice that you consistently deliver on the goal that you want to achieve. What I want you to do right now is to go into my comment section and tell me what your towards motivation and away from motivation is. And who knows, you might be winning yourself a free coaching session with me on the Focus Friday series, where I take one person to coach and dissect whatever it is they're going through in life so that they can be more, do more, and have more. But until then, go and live the focused life and make magic happen.